So, in this video, we're going to be talking about peace and finding that, and specifically, I'm going to be talking about finding a sense of, relief in our daily lives when we are kind of like, you could say, very busy. Everything's going on, and there's a lot of problems, negativity, everything coming at us. I think it's important to find some kind of like solace within ourselves. For me, these are just going to be some practical tips in no real particular order for finding peace, because I feel like it's something a lot of people lack these days. That's something I've been cultivating as of late in the past like 6 months. And just some tips for like different areas of life to find better peace. Let's start with like just something simple as like dealing with daily stress and things like that, and jobs and whatever. The number one thing is to have your day structured and kind of know what you're doing, so you have less stress, everything's planned out to an extent, be adaptable. Just have everything kind of ready to go in a sense. And another thing is just when you're going about in life and you just want a sense of peace, you can always go back in your own head and kind of find that clarity and peacefulness within yourself without other people. Like, if you can be your own best friend and you can just kind of like be fine spending time in complete silence by yourself, you can kind of just like cultivate this kind of chill mindset where you can just kind of go anywhere and be completely fine. You don't have to like have an anxiety and everything else like this. Like, I feel like that's what I found, and the best way to get to that is spend time with yourself and go to places by yourself, cultivate experiences and confidence from experiences, because that just gives you a better aura. Also, I find that going to the gym or exercising helps a lot as well, just releasing a lot of dopamine and other hormones that help you kind of relax, as well as just building confidence through building your body and things like that. And then the experiences obviously come in from life and hardships, and that's something that helps cultivate peace as well. A lot of times nothing phases you at some point once you've gone through a lot of stuff, so that you have things that don't phase you anymore, so you find more peace, because it's like that doesn't really shake you anymore because it's nothing new, right? It's like when we get used to doing something, it's not scary because it's not new. It's kind of the same mindset. When you've experienced a lot of life, you become more peaceful, and you can predict some things and prepare for things better, and you kind of know what's coming. The best way to get to that fast is to experience things faster, and I think otherwise changing your mindset can be helpful, as in like go in with a different mindset when you go into new things, and don't worry too much like beforehand. Kind of just like if you're signing up for a new class or something that's like exciting for you, maybe you're a little bit nervous, you should just go there, not think about it before too much, and then once you go there you might notice your anxiety goes away, unless you have like social anxiety, but that's also something you have to work through over time. And for cultivating peace as well, avoid wasting energy. There's this good quote from like Churchill, where he said, do not, like, if you can sit down, why stand? It's like that's a good metaphor for like wasting energy. Why would you waste energy doing something that you know is not very productive for you? Or why do something when you could just not do it, if it's like a waste of energy in a sense? So I feel like it's a good metaphor for avoiding waste of mental energy, especially. We only have so much mental energy. So I find that like cut out everything that takes away useless mental energy from you. So like, it doesn't matter if it's like dating, I don't know, some kind of activity which you could skip, or maybe just something you could do, just skip doing basically. That would result in you having more mental capacity to do something else, or just finding more peace and time for yourself, or like whatever it is. That's something that helps a lot. It's just find something that is for you, something that you know you're doing that's affecting you mentally and taking a lot of space from your life that you don't actually enjoy that much, or it's like hindering the rest of your life, even if it is something you kind of have to do a little bit. I feel like there's a lot of things in our lives which can sometimes be like that, where it just takes a lot of mental energy and it's kind of a waste of time and mental space when you could be using that for something else. At least for me, there's a few things I've kind of cut off, or at least I do them less, so I find myself more energized, I guess, to do other stuff. So that helps a lot. And then I guess final things would be just finding some kind of like, I guess, things to do in life, because a lot of people struggle with things to do during their day. So find some kind of meaningful things for you to do, so you can be more at peace by yourself, because that way you're not always bothering everybody, or even always going somewhere. Like, develop some like self care hobbies or whatever you want to do with your life. And it's just like, I feel like some people, I feel like there's a point where you experience life, but there's also a point where sometimes it's okay to just not do something and just kind of like be, or just like chill, you know, go somewhere and chill. And that also cultivates peace, just doing something simple. I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate and feel like they always have to do some activities and whatever. Now, some people also have the opposite problem, where they don't do enough activities and they kind of become unsocial, so you don't want to do that either. But there has to be like a balance. Like, some people fill up their schedule really well, and that might be too much depending on the person. Maybe if you're really social, then it's fine. But again, it's like, if you find that you aren't peaceful, then you might want to lessen the things you're doing so you have more time by yourself. Because at least for me, and maybe for, I can speak for other men, for us, what increases peace is solidarity, basically. At least, not for everybody is the same, but you know, for a lot of men, they need solidarity. Without that solitude, you can't really recharge. I think for women it's a bit different. Maybe they're more social and so on, but you know, depends on the person as well. But that's some tips for finding peace. And I think overall, you can also find peace from certain things. Perhaps you're lacking something in your life, like a guidance, then you can seek that in, like, I don't know, maybe religion or whatever you want, kind of like whatever you want to believe in, I don't know, or something like that. That's definitely something I would do if you're lacking some kind of like guidance in life or a direction. Then you can kind of try to figure something out in that regard. But overall, like, peace is something a lot of people lack. They can't seem to find, but it's like, it takes it takes time to cultivate and a lot of experience to get. And once you find it, it doesn't really go away, as long as you don't put yourself in situations where you're in a toxic situation with different relationships or anything like that, or a bad job or and stuff like that. Things where you don't want to be. Sometimes you have to be in places where you don't want to be, but you can still be peaceful even in those moments where you're not in a comfortable spot where you want to be. Like, in a sense, it's like a job you don't want to be at, then, well, you can cultivate peace in general, so you can be peaceful, at least in your head, and get through it and be fine. Like, it's just like, a lot of people want to retreat into the mountains for peace, but at the end of the day, peace is not found within the mountains inherently. It's found in yourself. You can find it always in yourself if you just cultivate it and spend time by yourself and experience different things, and that just makes you more peaceful overall, I would say. At least for me, that is the case. It's hard to explain completely how you find peace, because peace is like, once you get it, you just kind of get it, right? I can give some practical things that I notice increased my peace, but at the end of the day, I think at some point you just kind of have a certain amount of experience and time spent by yourself and doing certain things, and not doing certain things, and then it just kind of like culminates into peace eventually. And perhaps it's kind of like this calmness that just comes over you once you've experienced enough and spent enough time by yourself, contemplating all these things that have happened. So it's kind of like, that's how it works, I would say, like overall. If I had to explain like finding it, I don't think I can really give anything better as of advice to find it. I just wanted to kind of talk about this because I feel like it's something a lot of people want to search for nowadays with bad mental health and everything going on. So I feel like it's a very relevant topic, and I feel like many big people could benefit from it. But yeah, that's pretty much the message of this video. And I believe, you know, peace is something everybody can find eventually if they're willing to put in the effort. But if you always live in a chaotic life, you're never gonna find it. And I feel like a lot of people struggle to find it because they make bad decisions and they're not willing to be by themselves ever, and they kind of put themselves in bad situations, and they don't really accumulate the confidence and experience from achieving certain stuff. It's kind of interesting, but yeah, hopefully this encourages some thinking on your part, perhaps helps you find peace and so on. I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, subscribe. If you didn't, don't. If there's a will, there's a way to achieve what you want in life. And just remember, on your journey to peace, you kind of have to go through some struggle, as in everything with life. But once you do get there, it's very nice. But thank you for watching. See you in the next video.